Hey again guys, alright, I'm going to show you now how to make boxer pants. So this is kids boxer pants, like shorts. You can make it, you don't even have to be just boxers, like nighttime, bedtime sort of wear. You can make pants, like day pants, shorts, whatever you want to make out of this, but this is just my take on boxers. Okay, so 1 second. Alright, so what you will need is some fabric. So just some fabric like this. You will need pins, a little pair of scissors, rotary cutter. So if you don't have a rotary cutter, a bigger pair of scissors is completely fine. That's no worries. A sewing machine, of course. And if you've got a cutting board, if you've got a rotary cutter, this is what you'll need as well. So what we will need to do, so what we need to do is you grab your fabric. So I'll just put this aside, I'll grab some different fabric. Okay, so I'm using Thomas the Tank today, making my friend's little boy the little pair of boxers. So these ones are my daughter's ones I've already made. So what you do is you get your fabric, you will pick it up to make a edge, to make like a side bit. So just like that, so that down the side of your pants you don't have to do another seam, so it's just like a round piece. So yeah, no seam there, so there'll just be a seam at the back, at the front. So you pick it up, you fold it over. So inside out is always best to do. So you pick it up, fold it over, just like that. Then you will grab any pair of pants. It doesn't matter if they're, like I said, boxers or they're shorts or whatever pair of pants fit your child at that time. If you want to make them bigger, then you just add extra fabric, like cut extra onto it. But what you'll do is you'll grab your pair of shorts, boxers, whatever you've got to use as a pattern. So you don't need to go out and buy a pattern. You don't need to download a pattern. You could just make one. So you grab your boxers or your pants, you fold them in half. So in half across the seam, so over like that. Okay. You'll grab the completely straight edge, so not the part where the crotch is, the completely straight edge bit, and you'll put it over where you've done the fold. So not where the open is, but where the fold is. So you'll lie that down like that. Okay. Then what you want to do, now if you don't have an overlocker, I don't have an overlocker. So what I actually do is you give yourself like an inch on each side that you're going to be sewing of like enough room to fold over to actually do the hem, like to do the hem line. So like enough inch there. But what I do now, that because I don't have an overlocker, so you give yourself that inch, so you go to cut the inch off, but you give yourself like an extra half an inch. So you go an extra half an inch there so that you can double roll. So like you roll it over, then you roll it over again, then you stitch it, just so that you've got this, you'll have like a nice edge. I didn't do it on these ones. These are my tester ones. But yeah, you roll it over once and then you roll it over again. So yeah, you give yourself like, say, 1.5 inches from top to bottom. Measure how long you want them. So if you want them to fit your child in like a few months' time, then you'll give yourself like an extra couple of centimeters or an extra inch or however much longer you want them to be. So yeah, then you go ahead and you cut your top about however long you want, plus the extra 1.5 inches on each side. So you cut. Then you will, at this section, you just trace around the actual like the pant line. See how it's like goes straight up and then up and around? So what you do is, this is actually not the fabric I'm using. So I'll just show you though. You just do that. So you give yourself that extra inch, 1.5 inches, and then you will cut up, and then you will stop where your crease line, where your crotch line is going to be. So you'll stop, and then you'll just curve it in. So just follow the pattern of your pants plus that extra 1.5 inches. So once you've done that, you'll have two pieces. So you got to do that twice. So you get both sides, because that was only for one side. So you do it twice for both sides, and you'll have two pieces that look like this. Okay. So you got like a straight edge, and as you can see, I'll just move this board out of the way, you can see it better. As you can see, it goes straight up there and then curves out. So that's our crotch line there. That's the crotch. So this will be the top part of the pants, and this will be the bottom, and that's the crotch right there. So what we will need to do is you get your 2 pieces, you lie them the good side, like the side you're going to have facing out, you put them in. So you lay them in. So that's my good side, and this is the shiny side and the non-shiny side. 2 shiny sides in together, and you line them up. So you get your 2 pieces, and you line them up. Once you've got your 2 pieces, you start putting a few pins in just to hold it together. So then what you will now do, I'm going to go off and I'm going to use my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew down from the top. You don't have to leave any extra, you just go straight from the top, about that, say up to about an inch, because you've got to fold over. So what we'll do is we'll fold over one, and then we'll fold over again to make the hemline, just so that inside it doesn't fray and it'll look good. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so now that I have sewn, let's put the sewing machine out of the way. Now that I have sewn along here, and I get down to the crotch. So just straight down to the crotch area. You take your pins out. Oh, take all of the pins out actually. Pin, pin, pin. Okay. So now you've got that, and just go and trim off all the little bits of everything that's running around here. Little fraying bits. So this is what happens when you don't have an overlocker. It frays all out. But it still works and still is fine. So just clean up all the edges. Snip, snip, snip. There we go. And then that one's fine. Just need these ones here. There we go. Okay, so now that we've done that, so you got your stitches from one side to the other, so they just line up. Then you will turn this like that. So instead of having the seams on the side like that, you'll turn them so that the seam is actually in the middle, and you'll see automatically you've got pants. So you got that pants look. So you got around the crotch area, just like that. So you can actually see there's the legs, there's the seam, and this is where the top's going to be. So now what you need to do, what I actually do first, is the crotch. So you will get the crotch bit like this, and you just line everything up. You need everything to be lined up perfectly. So you get a few pins, and we'll start pinning. Just do one leg, and then work your way up and work your way down, just so that it becomes completely even, and you don't have like a funky looking crotch in the actual pants. So pin, pin, pin. Now you get to the middle bit. I always get tricky on this part, but you get to the middle bit, and you just, this is what I do. A lot of other people don't do this, but I just pin where I know I'm going to go up to. So just like that, and then I go and pin the leg. So as you can see, I've got pin, pin, pin across there, so I know when I'm sewing I need to go up to that line and then straight down. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, so now that I've done that, I'll just show you. So there you go, there's the seam line and the crotch. So you just go ahead and you sew across the crotch bit. Now when you get to this part, I always just check it before you do the hem, because you can always fix it. So turn them inside out. Inside out. And just check the hem in the middle. Yeah, it's a tiny bit off, but that's okay. Still matches up, still it's fine. So I'll check the back part as well. Yep, that looks fine. Alright, so what then you'll do is you'll turn them back inside out. So you just do your check, and if they look fine, you're good to keep going. Make sure that when you pin them together, that the seams match up, just so you are working on it correctly. So I just pin the tops again just to keep it all together and all in one spot. So 2 pins in the top, and now I'm going to work on the legs. Now with the hems on the legs, we got to watch and get the legs actually correct, like length, because I did one pair where it was only about 2 mil longer than the other side of the leg, but it made a difference. It was like very noticeable. So fold your pants in half to get the correct length on each leg. So fold the legs in half, and as you can see straight away, I've got like an extra maybe half to a centimetre worth of extra fabric. So I'm just going to use my rotary cutter and I'm just going to trim that up. Maybe a bit hard going through 4 bits of fabric, which it is. Make it nice and even. Ugh. Okay, so we trim that up. So once we've done that, we double check again. Yes, it is even. And now we have even legs. So when we pull them out, yep, spot on even. So that's all you have to do is fold in half, trim it, and you've got your spot on evenness there. So then what you will now go and do is you will double fold these. So that's again twice. So you'll fold a little bit, and then just like a little bit, not the whole seam, and then you will fold that again, and then you will sew, just so that it gives a nice hemline, because if you don't have a overlocker, like I said. So you'll double fold them, and then you'll sew across the hemline there. So I'm going to go and do that. Alright, so now I've done the hemlines on the legs, and I'll show you a bit closer. See what I actually did with it. Okay, is I folded it over and then it over again, but I folded it only halfway and then folded it over so there was the inside fold finishes just below the actual stitch. So, but yeah, then it sort of gives off a nice finished touch on the inside. You don't have it all fraying like the middle bit there. But yeah, it just, nice finishing touch if you don't have an overlocker. So both of those legs are done. Now, the part that for the top part of the pants for elastic, these ones are going to be elastic like this. So this has got a bit of elastic in that one. So what you'll need to do is you pin again. So we're going to roll over twice like we did on the top. So that half the hemline that we're going to do, and then again the full hemline. So roll and roll, and then we're going to stitch across the whole thing, except we're going to leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches gap at one section. I normally do it at the back of the pants, not like on the seam line. I just, like, you start on this side, you go round, and then you finish about 1.5 inches from where you started. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so with this one, we've done our seam now along here. So I've just rolled it over and then again sewed like I did with the bottom. You'll need now is elastic. Okay, so I just got 1/2 inch elastic. Just checking the exact, see what it was. 1/2 inch. Just pant elastic, underwear, doesn't really matter, just elastic. So that elastic, once I've done my hemline and I've left that little tiny gap, like an inch, inch and a half worth, which is, yep, exactly an inch and a half open. So what we're going to do is, sorry, I forgot to grab these before. We will get, now you can buy elastic sort of threaders. You can get them, but I find just using a safety pin right in the edge, hooked in like that, is the easiest way to thread for me. You can buy, like I said, the elastic threaders. They're about that big, so that it gets it done a lot quicker. But I haven't been able to find one for a while. I'm still on the hunt. If you know where I can get one, please message me. But yeah, so what we'll do is, you need to measure your child. So that if your child is 40 centimeters around the waist, you'll measure 40 centimeters and you'll take off between 1 to 3 inches off of that measurement, so that it's got enough elastic so it can actually sit around. If you do the exact measurement of your child, they're going to fall off, or they're just going to sit there and not actually going to be on there properly. So if they start walking, they're probably going to slip off. So what I'll do is, my actual measuring tape did break, so I'm using this weird little one. So I am doing, I think it was 47 for my friend's little boy. So 47, which is there. So I'm just going to mark that little spot with another safety pin. Okay, just like that. So that's the 47 centimeter mark. So that's his waist. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to check this one with this, just to see. And as you can see, that's the same. And that there is 1, 2, that's 3 inches that was taken off of this one. So that was, again, that was the 47, and then 3 inches taken off. So I'm going to do the same thing. So we got that. So I go 1, 2, 3. So 3 inches is to there. So that's now 15 inches long. And then I'm going to move my mark. I don't ever cut straight away. The reason why I don't cut is in case you've done it wrong, you've measured wrong, for whatever reason, I don't do it straight away. So, sorry about that, it's squeaky. So you go ahead and you thread this through your top bit there, through your hemline, and some parts are a little bit tighter than others, but oh no, that's fine. So then I'm just going to go ahead and thread this through. Little Mercy's making a noise in the background. Playing with her toys. Alright. Now sometimes it gets a bit tricky when you get to the seam. So like there's a double seam in there now because I folded over the fabric. So now you've got to go up and under and find it. Pain in the bottom. Alright, I'm going to find this and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so you go in, you'll stitch this back in, and there you have it. Boxes are done.